Did you hear those train whistles out there? That's the sound of history and the call of heritage. It also means our journey to Paradise, Pennsylvania is about to begin. And rest assured, everyone here is in for something special today. As our welcome guests, all you need to do is sit back, enjoy the view, and make a few memories with us along the way. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome aboard the Strasburg Railroad.
chartered the Strasburg Railroad, allowing the construction of this 4.5 miles of track that we call a short line. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what allowed this piece of Pennsylvania Dutch country to connect with the mighty Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad. That locomotive up front will burn up to a half ton of coal in this round trip, all hand shoveled by our firemen into a 2,000-degree firebox. It's exactly that kind of hard work and backbone that's helped this railroad survive more than a few hard turns. We've weathered many storms in our time, but we've come a long way, and we're happy to share that legacy with you today.
ghosts? I can tell you that I sure do. You see, many years ago, in the valley to your running right, there used to be a narrow gauge railroad, the Lancaster, Oxford, and Southern. We used to call her Little, Old, and Slow. The railroad was abandoned in 1918, and the scrappers took up the rail so quickly that they stranded old number 6 out on the line with no way to get back. Sometimes we blow our whistle for Carpenter's Crossing. The ghost of old number 6 will answer us back. Now, listen closely. Maybe she'll answer us today.
All right. All right, I'll let you go. Let you know, because it's going to get loud right now. All right, bye-bye.
Did someone say echo? Why, we pay that ghost $27.50 a day just to do that for us. That makes her the highest paid employee on our railroad. Nobody ever seen that ghost, but somebody keeps cashing those paychecks. Strasburg's one and only bridge, the Pumpkinville Turnpike Bridge. If you don't mind, we'll ask you to lift up your feet. It takes the much-needed weight off these cars as we cross. This bridge replaced an old stream of incoming freight traffic. The reason that the bridge was replaced was due to now more than 6 mules wide and high enough that the mules no longer need to wear safety helmets.
short line of Strasburg meets the main line of Amtrak. Back in its heyday, this was the mighty Pennsylvania Railroad. We established the connection here with the completion of our own railroad in 1851. Our track will begin to curve sharply to the left as we come alongside Amtrak's Keystone Corridor from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. This was the original route of the Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad, which became part of the Pennsylvania Railroad in 1857. Where the white buildings stand today once stood Henry Levin's Hotel. Believe it or not, in the earliest days of railroading, railroad cars and carriages were pulled by horses. Henry Levin would supply fresh horses for the trains and refreshments for passengers. The interchange track on the running right is used to deliver freight cars off the main line into our East Strasburg yard, where shipments are offloaded to trucks for local delivery. The most famous delivery to come through Levin Place arrived on February 22nd, 1861, when President-elect Abraham Lincoln made a short stop in Lancaster County on the way to his Washington inauguration. Thousands gathered around these tracks just to see a glimpse of Mr. Lincoln, who stepped out, faced the crowd, and said,
I've come to see you and let you see me. I believe I have the better of the bargain.
The crowd was equally enthusiastic to see Mary Todd Lincoln. When she stepped out and stood beside her much taller husband, Lincoln eloquently quipped,
Now you can see the long and short of it.
Sadly, in 1865, another train would pass through Lemon Place, but in the opposite direction. This one carrying President Lincoln's body after his untimely death at the hands of John Wilkes Booth. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination of Paradise, Pennsylvania, located along Route 30 in eastern Lancaster County. We'll be here for just a few minutes while we switch our locomotive around to the opposite end of our train for the return trip. The creaking and hissing that you'll hear under our cars is the sound of the train crew performing a brake test. The brakeman checks the brakes on the last car and passes signals up to the engine crew at the head end of the train. This procedure is required by federal law.
Well, folks, I'm afraid if you were planning to go to any of those aforementioned places, that was your train and you just missed it. Now, you may find it a little difficult to believe, folks, but this is Paradise, Pennsylvania, that is. You're in it. Let's face it, it may be as close as some of us will ever get to paradise.
didn't know you had pictures on your phone.
We have smartphones.
You're not smartphone.
We just have
You're not smartphone people.
Slide over to right here in the face.
Come here, I want you to hear something quick. See if you know this song. Come here. You know that song? Who is it? What's he saying? What song is it? Running to die for Biggie and Tupac. You know that song too? You know? We don't have the dogs, but the choice to roll.
The throes of the Great Depression put 15 million people out of work. When jobs dried up in the cities, would-be laborers were on the move. Off these main-line tracks by the Lemon Place picnic grove was an encampment that drifters called the jungle, or a hobo camp. The ground was their bedstead. They would gather at the camps and hop the freight cars, migrating the countryside for whatever odd jobs they could find. They had their own set of rules and used a symbolic code to give directions or warnings for those in the Brotherhood. You can still find them today, some 20,000 around the country. It's a hand-to-mouth way of life that's just as risky as the breadline days, especially on the trains. If you're caught, you're not going to be welcome. That's how are you in Pennsylvania Dutch. There are 21 working farms along this route, many of them owned by Amish families. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw more than one horse-drawn buggy on your way to visit our railroad today. There's about 32,000 Amish people in the eastern half of this region. Their German and Swiss ancestors emigrated to Pennsylvania as early as the 18th century, and they devoutly practice a separate life. Pennsylvania Dutch country is the fertile farmland of the plain people. They believe in faith and hard work with limited reliance on modern conveniences. The average Amish farm is about 80 acres in size. They raise dairy cattle and provide produce of corn, wheat, rye, soybean, barley, and the famous Lancaster County broadleaf tobacco. But don't think they stop at farming. There are more than 2,000 Amish-owned businesses in this area, many earning their income from carpentry, painting, plumbing, and masonry. But no matter the profession, home is the center of all Amish life and events. Even church services, which can have as many as 200 people, are held inside Amish homes. We do get a lot of questions about our peaceful, hardworking neighbors. Believe me, they are integral to the heritage and vitality of our community. And though they live a separate lifestyle, they are very much involved in the local economy and public functions.
Does she drive at all? some have a, it's a, I forget how you say it, but it's a TRITON something, V8.
That is the name.
You're not into that stuff.
I like you when it starts.
What year is it?
12.
So you still have a key that you turn? It's not a put the foot on the brake.
We take what we can get.
You're old, you take what you can get. Does it have a backup camera?
So, it's too old for that.
Does it have sunroof?
No, we don't need that.
Oh.
It's a simple, nice, comfortable truck.
How many miles?
114,000.
That's not bad. It was a V8, so you can haul stuff with it. Does it have bug guard, rain guards? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'm not a Ford person, but I know a lot about Fords. You know what Ford stands for? And find on road dead. Yours hasn't let you sit. Yours hasn't let you sit. And you can keep up the maintenance on it. So he hasn't had to fix much on it yet. It's hard to get. So you guys used to have two cars? What car did she used to have? A Ford Windstar?
That's come up with
So Dodge. Those two, you take what you can get. Not for long, sweetheart. Not for long. My next vehicle I want fully loaded, all bells and whistles. Is that funny, Spencer? Did you hear that though? See, that's the type I want a Nissan or a Mazda. I would like a freaking Chevy or GMC or something that I can get through snow weather.
We're closing in on our return to Strasburg, so I would encourage you to take a good look outside, because that's a view one stop short of heaven. Today you traveled through 2,500 acres of beautiful Lancaster County farmland. We're known as the garden spot because of our naturally rich soil and remain the most productive, non-irrigating farm county in the United States.
But you know, it's going together.
There's also a fair share of livestock on these farms, as I'm sure you can now hear. Each year, our farmers produce chicken for 3.6 million people, eggs for 9 million people, and milk for 10.6 million people. Anyone want to take a guess as to how many cows are working the average dairy farm? If you guessed less than 40, you're a bit low. An average Lancaster dairy farm has 65 cows and uses up to 1 million gallons of water. These rich pastures are very important to all of us. Lancaster County maintains one of the best farmland preservation programs in the United States. There are about 80,000 acres of these hardy green belts protected, and we're proud to do our part by supporting the Lancaster Farmland Trust. We want the next generation to enjoy these sights and sounds, just as we hope you have today.
You know why? To your left.
Percy and Sir Topham Hatt. They pay us a visit 3 times a year to greet little engineers and treat them to a special train ride. Be sure to check our events calendar for information on Thomas the Tank Engine and other unique events held at the Strasburg Railroad.
Right on that threshold. They leave just enough room to get across the track for you to check it on both ends. But she's a big
Alrighty, folks, before our final reminder about safety, I'd like to give a big happy birthday to Dakota, who is celebrating their 23rd birthday with us in Parlor Car 88. Happy birthday. And now, a final reminder about safety. Please wait until the train has come to a complete stop before leaving your seat. Watch your step and leave on the station side only. The locomotive will be passing by on the parking lot side, so do not attempt to cross the tracks until the locomotive is passed. Do not open any gates that have not been opened for you.
Tomorrow we'll see Scott.
And finally, remember, next time you travel, why not take the train? It's a whole lot safer and more fun too.
You always sit on that side and the sun goes to you. I guess they had 8618, but
short line. Be sure to take some time to talk with our railroad staff. Our conductors, engineers, and redcaps are always happy to share their expertise and answer your questions. And before you leave us today, I'd recommend paying a visit to our gift shops and cafe. On behalf of all of us here at Strasburg, we thank you for taking the time to visit and share our love of old-time railroading in beautiful Lancaster County.
Bye.